E-waste is a very complex phenomenon. There's no universally acceptable definition of for e-waste, if you will. I think that as you move from one country to the other, definitions of e-waste would differ. My name is Kwame Otu. I am an associate professor of African anthropology at Georgetown Schools of Foreign Service. I am in Ghana to do research on electronic waste. I'm particularly interested in the impacts of electronic waste deposition in Ghana on electronic waste workers, most of whom are migrants from Ghana's northern regions. I would argue that the e-waste that comes here would be roughly defined as, technologies that are obsolete, most of which are either mobile phones, computers, vehicular parts, refrigerators, air conditioners, microwaves, batteries, you name them, right? That these constitutively come together to be regarded as e-waste in the context of Ghana. The conditions in Agbogbloshie can't be described, because it is a very peculiar place compared to many places that I've been. And the fact that a place like that, even exists in a world that is supposed to be a world for the humans, right, is unconscionable. Not only is there smoke and fires everywhere, it's just really a dump. It's like a waste dump, right, that sits on a lagoon that itself is actually completely polluted. There's e-waste in every country. There's e-waste in the US, there's e-waste in South Africa, there's e-waste in China, there's e-waste in India. In fact, the world's largest producers, or some of the world's largest destinations of e-waste, right, are India and China and some South Asian countries, right? But then the issue of exaggeration is also critical, right? Because I think it somehow allows us to think about the management of e-waste, right? That we don't hear about e-waste in other countries like the US because the infrastructure exists, right? Or somehow some kind of partial infrastructure exists that makes it easier for e-waste to be managed, right? But in the African context where infrastructures are actually very non-existent, right, e-waste becomes very visible to the eye. In Ghana, the absence of such infrastructures amplifies the presence of e-waste, right? So I think infrastructure is very crucial. The three men that I am investigating, or there's three men whose lives serve as a conduit to understand e-waste, are actually all from northern Ghana. They are namely Mustafa Mohammed Zakaria, and Ilyasu Adam. I studied them because most of them come from Tamale, which is actually the capital of northern region, and they belong to an ethnic group known as the Dagomba ethnic group, which is arguably the largest ethnic group in Ghana's northern region. They have their own terminologies on the dump, right, which may not be captured by journalists or by people who, studied them officially. People like Mustafa, Zak, and Ilyasu would be regarded as scrap dealers because they collect scrap and then sell the scrap they collect. We have the burner boys. The burner boys actually burn the scrap to allow for the materials that they burn to expose the valuable metals so they can be easily extracted, right? So the political economy of the dump is really very complicated, right? They have the scrap dealers like Zach, and then they have the burner boys. But beyond this political economy, there are those who are actually those who buy the scrap, the valuable metals from the likes of Zach, and then they ship them to the port. and then there are middlemen at the port who then, ship or export this outside of Ghana. The goal to go to Tamale and Yendi was inspired by our desire to move beyond reducing these men's lives, as Zach, Mustafa, and Elias's lives, to just, seeing them as e-waste workers, right? Going to Tamale and Yendi, which are respectively their hometowns, right? Somehow brings their humanity to the fore. It amplifies who they are. It moves us beyond, making us think of themselves as just mere subjects on the dump without any agency. But I think one key reason is to also understand the forces at these places of their birth that compel them to undertake this perilous journey, right? Why are they making these journeys to come to a place like Agbogbloshie, which actually, is animated by conditions that nobody should live in, right? Might the conditions in Tamale and Yendi be worse than Agbogbloshie, which is why they come down, or not? Right, so these are the kinds of motivations that led us to return with them to their hometowns, just to get a sense of the environmental and cultural context that led to their migration. So today is maybe first time, so first time on the plane and your first time in the hotel.
I was born in this place, Wapuli.
Wapuli, is it close by?
No, here in Wapuli is far.
Okay.
And because of the crisis, the government in Kunkume,
yes,
1993.
Yes.
My papa and my mom, they come and settle in here.
So they moved here to avoid the crisis and everything.
Yes. So after the crisis, they went back to Wapuli.
So after the crisis in the early 90s between the Kokomba and the Nanumba ethnic groups, there were also a few conflicts, chieftaincy conflicts, in northern Ghana, particularly in a place called Yendi, which would also lead to a wave of migrants or migration to Agbogbloshie.
Yes.
Did you move? Did your parents move here alone, or they moved here with the entire family?
But now I lost my father.
Okay.
So I live with my uncle now.
Okay. And so your uncle, was he also in Yendi?
Yeah, he's in Yendi, plus his wife.
Okay. How old were you when you found, how did you even find out about Agbogbloshie? Who told you?
Oh, one of my friends.
Okay, who is this friend?
Who is Mohammed.
Mohammed. Do you see yourself ever moving back to Tamale from Agbogbloshie?
Moving back to Agbogbloshie.
Moving back to Yendi or Tamale?
Yeah, no, in Yendi I will turn back.
Would you build?
But after house there, I'm aiming to build my house in Tamale.
Okay. So why Tamale?
Why? I know Tamale is a business town.
It's a business town.
Yes.
Yendi is not.
Oh, actually, Yendi is a business town, but I know Tamale is a developing.
It's developed, town. Yes. So how old were you again when you went to Agbogbloshie?
Like 19 years.
You were 19. How old are you now?
Years. Maybe 2 months now. I'll reach 29 years. Serious, I'm telling you.
You've been 29 for 5 years. You know your age. Okay, so tell me you don't know your true age. So you estimate that you are 29.
Like 29.
Okay. So you've been in Agbogbloshie for 10 years. And so when you arrived, like, how did you even get there from Yendi?
Agbogbloshie.
Yes.
From Yendi.
How did you? Who paid for your trip? Who paid for the bus to Agbogbloshie?
That's my friend. He's the one who gave me money.
Mohammed?
That Mohammed.
Okay.
Talking about.
He gave you transportation money?
Yes.
Okay. And then how did you find a place to stay? Like, where did you go? Like,
in Agbogbloshie.
Yes.
That time I was sleeping inside the mosque.
Oh, wow.
At times, stations, you just put your slippers outside, and you are inside the mosque praying.
Okay.
Till daybreak, if you can, you see your slippers.
They'll steal the slippers.
They'll steal the slippers.
When did you exactly start dealing in scrap? Like, did you start immediately you arrived in Accra?
Immediately I arrived, I followed one of my friends. Mohammed introduced me to his elder brother.
Okay.
He was going bush with truck. So I followed him pushing the truck. So we were patrolling area like Medina or that side, by bush.
So that's how you started?
Yes.
You were pushing trucks?
But as an ambassador, some people, they are still pushing the truck.
Right, I see them, and I see some on bicycles too. Did you ride a bicycle too?
No, I never tried a bicycle.
Okay,
Yes.
So what's the difference between pushing a truck and riding a bicycle?
You see, if putting the truck, you have more advantages. Some people may know that, oh, you are dealing scraps. But at times, if you are riding bicycle, unless you say scraps, condemn, so that they know that you are a scraps dealer. But truck, they will know that
they know you are carrying yes.
And at times, if you get goods, plenty goods to buy, you can just put it inside your truck. But bicycle, they come, if you buy plenty goods, you don't know how to.
You don't know how to do it.
Yes. So the truck, it had more advantages than bicycle.
The bicycle.
Yes. If the dismantle finish, they'll just call me, so that I'll bring truck and carry the iron and bring it and wait. If the opportunity comes and I get, like money or something, like I'll change another job, or if I get big money, like I'll just go my place in Wager. I'll just want to rent a place,
a space,
and put my own scale.
Okay.
That side there.
So what you need now is like you need your own scale
for the areas.
For the area.
As are not those who have who get a decent scale for areas, them get money now.
Can you actually give us an estimation of your age? Like
no,
38.
Yeah.
So we would say you are 38 years. I'm Ben Alfinyang Palako Accra.
More than 20 something years.
More than 20 something years.
Yeah.
So he's been in Accra longer than you, the two of you.
Yeah. More than 20 something years.
The first time I met you, you said you had actually traveled to Libya.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in sharing that story of your traveling there, like how it went? Like, would you mind sharing that with us again?
Yeah.
The journey is not easy.
The journey. When did you go? Do you remember the year you did that trip? What year?
2013.
2013. Yeah. How did you even get to Libya?
They enter car, Savlugu.
Okay.
Savlugu. Which car? Is it a long vehicle?
Long vehicle, yeah.
What, long vehicle?
Yes. Why no long vehicle?
No, I don't know what that is.
No long vehicle. That cargo, the big cars.
Articulators.
Yes.
A truck.
Yeah, that truck.
Okay. So you caught the long vehicle or the truck from Savlugu to Burkina Faso. And from Burkina
Faso to
Niger.
After Niger to desert.
So the Sahara Desert.
So Sahara Desert.
How long were you in the desert? Like
1 week.
1 week.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you to get to Libya?
1 week.
1 week.
Yeah.
How did you pay for that? Did you have to pay someone to take you through?
More than 9 million.
9 million, 900 cities, or 90 cities? 900 cities.
Yeah. Libya.
But now this is now called Libya, now it's all called Europe. Zach, ask him why he did not.
That's all that.
You were afraid you would. Okay. Yes. So Libya was your destination.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about your experience in Libya?
No lah.
I never shall Libya.
Yeah.
Libya.
You no born last night. I'm born last night. Stay Bernard.
The time he went to Libya, he learned from work.
Okay. Okay. So you are still bender. So you learned to become a steel bender in Libya. And so you were working in a steel factory.
Yeah.
How long? How long? Oche or Libya? 3 years. It's you call Libya. If you have called Libya 2013. Yeah. When did you come back to Ghana?
Ending of 2015.
Ending of 2015. And she didn't know about back. Why did you come back? The fight in Libya, that's why you came back. Okay, so Ubetimiaka, the process of getting back, how did you get back to Accra? How did you get back to...
From desert.
You walked on the desert?
Yeah.
You didn't take a car?
No, car.
Okay.
The time he reached Niger, he take car. Even he didn't stop in northern Ghana yet.
You just came straight to Accra.
Accra again.
How did you eat?
Gari.
They chop gari.
Gari?
Yeah.
So gari is like tapioca, like but dry cassava powder. It's like grit, right? So and sugar. So did you? I think in your.
No, I'm going to tell you one of the interesting stories. The time he came back, he said the time they were going, all of them, their water finished.
Yes.
And one of them used urine milk and put this thing.
Sugar.
Milk inside the urine and drink.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
So you saw it.
So our water all finished.
Yes. So you had to drink your urine.
Serious.
Yeah, drink them.
Yeah.
Some people died.
Some people died.
Yeah.
Do you know some of the people who died?
I know.
You do.
I was.
From Burkina Faso.
Burkina. I was. Ghana.
Two people from Ghana and one.
So when they die, what do you do to them?
One.
So when they die, what do you bury them?
I will come and put them down. Go.
They'll just leave them and go.
So their bodies are in the desert.
In the desert.
What plan here then?
The plan is painting.
Can you describe some?
Because my father died. My mother. Maybe.
The first child. Taking care of the whole family.
Yeah.
And his plan was to just go and make money to support his family because his dad died, and because he's the first son or the first child, he had to take the responsibility of the father in the absence of his father. So that was his plan, that Europe would actually open an opportunity for him to support his family. So when did you leave this place to go to Accra? Like, how old were you? Which time you left this place? Like, you know the date, the year?
Like 2015.
2015. So you left Accra. Well,
he left here 2015.
Yeah, but why did you go to Accra? Why did you move to Accra?
Oh, I go to find
money.
Find money.
Okay. Who told you Accra had money? Like, how did you know that you could go to Accra to make money?
I saw my friends go there
make money.
Make money.
Okay. So what did your friends do? The friends who went there, they did scraps, and they made money out of the scraps. So you've been in Accra since 2015.
No.
In 2015.
Okay.
Remember that's 2015.
Yes. 2015. So you've been in Accra for 8 years.
Almost 8 years.
How does it feel? How does it feel to come back now? Like, how does it feel to be here right now?
I will feel better.
You feel okay? Okay, but like right now, ask him how it feels right now to be back here.
It feels like, I'm in family house.
Yes, right.
It's very hard. But if you have your own apartment, like your own house,
you can
come back. You plus your wife, your mom, you enjoy a lot.
Okay. So there's a sentiment of reluctance, right? Because in a way, I think they feel like they've not yet succeeded, right? So it's really tough. But we are praying that they succeed. Can you tell me a little bit about how you said Accra is a city, but growing up in Tamale, when you hear Accra,
Accra.
What do you think about?
You think like if you just go Accra, everything is simple. The
Okay.
money, you just every corner if you enter, you get money.
Okay.
And come back.
And so is that what you've seen in
Unless you
Accra?
step down in Accra, you realize that
It's
things make happen.
yes, it's not true.
It's not true.
Say I reach out to any of these boys and I ask them, what do you think about Accra? Right? What would they say? Would they continue to think of Accra as a place where...
They will think about the positive way in Accra.
Okay.
So they'll say, oh, Accra, if I get chance, I'll go to Accra. If I get... Unless
They are there.
Step down, you know that Accra is not easy.
Okay. I'm someone who is coming here and buying them tickets and flying them to Tamale, putting them up in a hotel. And this is just like a temporary experience. And I'm going to return to Accra and then stay in a hotel like this. And then they go back to Agbogbloshie. So what's going on? Right? And I think that there are moments in the experience that we had in Tamale that sometimes that really made me feel like a fraud. That I am extracted, I'm engaging in this extraction, that I come here to extract from them, just like the e-waste, because e-waste is really, when we think about the life of e-waste, a lot of the valuable metals that go into the manufacture of the electronics we use are extracted from Africa. And so then I, the researcher, the filmmaker, we come here and maybe you too, we extract from them and we go back to America. So we are basically doing the same thing that we are claiming to study. And so that was what I felt, how can I minimize that guilt? And that is how I feel about this project every time.